Welcome to our preview show for the Galway International Rally, Ireland's first rally of 2023 and the opening round of the Irish Tarmac's International Modified and Junior categories. The 2023 Irish Tarmac Rally Championship got underway on December's Killarney Historic Rally. The Synergy Motorsport sponsored Historic Championship continues in Galway, and we'll hear from one of its leading contenders later in the show. First, though, we have two special guests that competed in Killarney 2 months ago, but will be in slightly different machinery for Galway. Josh and Sam Moffett need no introduction, of course, with a string of international victories and 3 Irish Tarmac titles between them. Fellas, welcome to the show. How are you keeping?
Good, thanks.
Yeah, very good. Thanks for having us on.
No, thanks for coming on. I know you are busy with just a week to go now before Galway. But as I mentioned, you both sampled a bit of rear-wheel drive action last year. Sam, you had a few outings in the Starlet. How did you find that?
It was enjoyable. Really enjoyed it now. Have to say it's a different challenge, and I think the dynamics of back-wheel drive racing compared to four-wheel drive is just a completely different element. It's chalk and cheese, and I think I got a good sport out of it and enjoyed it, and I think that's what my goal was for the year. So happy with that.
Yeah, it looked fairly competitive in Class 13 last year. So I'm sure you had the competitive edge still coming out. And Josh, you took your cousin started in Killarney.
Yeah, well, I got Sam's Starlet for one event.
Right, yeah.
Thankfully, Richard then let me use his 2.5 Starlet for Killarney. So yeah, look at it. I always enjoy back-wheel drive things. So I had lots of fun while doing that. So yeah, look at hopefully I'll get an opportunity to do more of it in the future.
Yeah. Well. And what was Moll's Gap and Ballochbeema like in a Starlet compared to your four-wheel drive Hyundai?
Yeah, I suppose with it, like the test I got prior to it was quite modest and just up and down the road briefly, where starting Moll's Gap and such a car like that, where it's like obviously not what I'm used to, and it's quite a fast car all the same too. It was a nervous enough start, but look, we just kept it safe and bedded in slowly, but we thoroughly enjoyed it all the same.
Yeah. Sam, you did a few Irish Tarmac rounds last year, and West Cork was obviously the first one in the Starlet. We all know what the pace was like in the modified guys, but was it a bit of an eye-opener or sort of confirmation of how quick those guys are? I know you're in Class 13 rather than the Millington cars, but what was that like being amongst those?
Look, all classes are very competitive in Irish motorsport. There's no doubt about that. And Class 13, as we all know, is a great competitive class. And we had great battles throughout the year, even West Cork being the first one. But yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it. The guys are very good, and especially in cars that obviously don't take the bumps and stuff as well as an R5 car. It's a credit to them. And we had some great racing through the year, and obviously now even in Class 13, Jason Black has now moved out of it, and still a lot of guys coming through that class. John Warren, Stephen Falcon, just to name a few that we had good races with through the year. And hopefully I get back out. The car's still there. We can venture to an all-national rally and still try and give them a bit of a race now. They're good fun, good guys.
Brilliant. It's going to be a hard car to give up then.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And looking ahead to Galway, Josh, you're going there. Obviously defending your win 12 months ago and defending the Irish Tarmac title. How are you feeling going into
it? Probably. Yeah, it's hard to know. Like it's like we did have an exceptional year last year, and we didn't take our results lightly there. Like we were, we did, I suppose, probably better than a lot of people probably expected us to do last year. So it's going to be no easy task to try and replicate that this year. So we know we need to be on it and give it our best shot to try and do anything close to it again.
Yeah. Yeah, it's obviously a lot of commitment and preparation for both of you. And Sam, you're back into a Rally 2 car this year for the Samdec Security International Irish Tarmac Championship. When did you decide to come back up to four-wheel drive and R5s?
Yeah, I suppose last year I didn't really miss it so much until really the end of the season. And obviously Josh had a very successful year, and I was happy enough not to be in them. People asked me, did I miss it and stuff, and not particularly, but coming around to the new season, I was really starting to get an itch again and wanted to try and get back at the front and, well, see if I was still had it is one thing. But really looking forward to the year. And I suppose when there was the opportunity to get the car that we have now, I took it, and I believe we've got a competitive car that can definitely challenge for the championship. And we'll see how the year progresses, but that's, I suppose, the hopes at the start of any year.
Yeah. And have you had a chance to sit in the car yet, or
yeah, we've done a bit of testing. We've done a bit of testing in the car now, and it's all went pretty well. Obviously hard to beat going to a rally, so time will really tell there. But no, very comfortable with the car so far, and it's still very early days, and I suppose Tom and the team will have a bit of work to do just to get it perfect, but we're in capable hands of him. So.
Definitely. Josh, are you happy to have Big Brother back alongside you? Does that make things a bit more interesting?
It'll yeah, no, it'll certainly make it more interesting, and I think it's we've always enjoyed racing each other, and like in the past, it didn't really matter, where we were, as long as we were beating each other. And I think it'll sort of continue on, albeit I think we'll both want to win, but equally beat each other at the same time. So, look, it's gonna make it a good year.
Yeah. And obviously these are both at the the top positions when you go out there, and these are championship winners, international rally winners. Does that competitive element, obviously being brothers as well, just keep the pressure on to be at your best, or want to finish in the top positions at any rally you go to?
Well, for me, look, the aspiration is to win. You do want to be the quickest on the day. And, I do think that probably either of us are extremely competitive at probably anything we go to participate in. Some might say it's a bit of a problem we have, but look, you do want to win. You do want to be the fastest, and obviously there's a lot of different elements to it, and I think for us it's still it's a team effort from the whole team, down to Tom and everyone, and down to the navigators obviously as well. So getting everything together now, and it's not like we won't speak to each other the whole way through the event. We will try and, I would say, fairly try and beat each other without having to not help each other. We still want to beat everybody in the field, so 1-2 is probably key. It's just then who gets the one. And we've seen in the past that family might try and make team orders, but that doesn't really go down well. It doesn't matter what the distance is between the two of us. We still believe we can catch the other if it's even a minute between us. So it's kind of the way it rolls, I suppose.
Brilliant. So you've answered that question then, if things are tight, the last loop going into Sunday.
You might have seen it before. It doesn't. I think we've had 2 draws and 1 or 2 accidents on last stages. So it's losses by, I think we've lost by we've drawn twice and lost to each other by only a handful of seconds many at a time. So never goes down well.
Yeah. there's no one rushing to be team manager for the Moffetts then, and be a few awkward conversations.
Definitely would.
And Galway is obviously well known as one of the toughest events in the calendar. It's obviously the first one every year, and it usually throws everything it's got at you. Josh, you obviously did well last year and had a good battle with Marion through the 2 days. But what makes Galway different, or I guess do you enjoy it compared to some of the other rallies?
Yeah, no, I suppose it is different, where it's like usually always like conditions are not always that nice. Like it's usually wet and cold, sometimes icy, a lot of standing water usually, and the shiny tarmac being mixed into all that is also a big factor that you always need to keep an eye out for. And even I was just the other night, I was looking through some videos on YouTube from previous years, and there's always a lot of mud pulled out onto the stages as well. So look, there's a lot of factors that you don't normally see for the rest of the year in Galway. So it's certainly a tricky one in many aspects like that.
Yeah. And what about you, Sam?
Yeah, I suppose it's probably the different dynamic through the year compared to the likes of a Killarney and Donegal, where you do get very grippy roads and things like that there, whereas this gives you the other dynamic of the shiny, the wet, the cold, the mud and everything. And okay, I have never actually won the rally, but it's one that you still look forward to going into the start of the year to say, you know, this is the type of challenge you're going up against. You know, dry roads, 20 degrees is obviously the dream for a lot of people, but like the wet element is also, it's another dynamic. It's probably more entertaining in some ways for the crowds as well, to see cars sliding about a little bit more. And you know, from that element in Galway, Air Square on the Friday night and everything, it's a great atmosphere to start off the championship.
Yeah, it definitely is. I think everybody's sitting through January waiting and counting down the days to get to Air Square, and I don't know if they regretted standing in the rain then on Saturday and Sunday, but you never leave Galway disappointed from being there. There's always plenty of interesting things happening. But yeah, we're looking forward to seeing you there, and Sam, we're glad to see you back out in a Rally 2 car. So guys, all the best in your preparation, all the best in Dracky, and we'll see you on Friday night in Air Square.
Thanks very much, Adam.
Thank you. See you there.
Bye now.
Next up, I'm pleased to welcome Duncan Williams, a regular in the Synergy Motorsport Historic Irish Rally Championship. Thanks for joining us, Duncan. I hope you're keeping well, but I guess first thing, whereabouts are you this evening? It looks like there's a bit of a backstory to this shed.
Hi, Adam. Yes, I'm talking to you from what we call Dusty's Irish Champions Bar in Bridgenorth in Shropshire, where we live. And this is a bar that we built during the lockdown period. It's been a bit of fun, really. We made a bit of a pub out of it, and we've had lots of do's here. We've had a 60th, we've had a stag do, anniversary, birthdays. It's been a really, it's quite a big building.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of fun up here, a lot of fun. And there's a little bit of memorabilia, as you can probably see, which you can't see. But it's a bit of a rally sort of, in fact, talking about rally, we've even started a rally from here.
Really?
So we have people on a couple of weekends coming for a pint, we treat it as a bit of a pub. Hello. Sure. One of the mates just coming in now. But it's probably going to pay his bill, probably.
Oh, really?
What's that?
Who's this? That's a familiar face, I think.
You haven't built, you haven't played in tap for years. Right. Another pint, Al?
Oh, why not?
Yeah, I'll get you a pint. Yeah, so usual.
That's what we do on a Friday evening.
Yeah. And is this by any chance Alan Watkins from the Historic Championship as well?
It is.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. There'll be one with the pairing.
Now, what are the chances of that?
No, Alan and I have known each other for a long, long time, since we're teenagers.
Yeah.
And you know, we've been to the weddings and all that sort of thing, and we've been through quite a lot, haven't we, really?
Yeah.
Over the years.
And we've been rallying 41 years.
41 years.
Alan, 40 years. I'm 41. Getting it right. So, but, yeah. No, it's one of those things. With Alan comes round most Friday nights for a pint, so bit of a laugh, really.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Cheers, indeed. Now, I think both of you are doing Galway next weekend. I guess Duncan, you first. How are you feeling ahead of next weekend?
Looking forward to it. Looking forward to it. I must say, last year was the first time I've been to Galway.
Right. Okay.
I really enjoyed it. It's, I mean, it was wet, muddy in places. That's the sort of rally I like. I mean, I come from a road rallying background, I suppose.
Okay.
Dark night nabs, if you like, and I like that sort of technical, sort of wet, muddy road, bit of gravel here and there. That's what I like. And Galway, we've been talking about it for years to go over and try Galway, and we finally bit the bullets, and yeah, glad we went last year. I think loved it, and we came away with. I think we won the. We were first in the Irish Tarmac.
Yep.
Championship, which is a bit of a bonus, really. So yeah, it was great. Loved it. Great rally. Great roads.
Yeah, I think it's definitely one that everybody looks forward to and enjoys as well. And I guess then Alan was last year your first time there as well.
He was, yeah. All the Irish rallies I've done, and I've never really bit the bullet with Galway. I think in many respects it's always been the weather that's put me off. You know, rain, snow, and whatever. In fact, last year the weather was pretty grim on the Saturday.
Yeah.
But actually doing the event, it was good fun. You know, the roads, like Duncan said, we both come from a road rally background, so you know it's nice to get back out on roads that are like that. You know,
gives something to go out, doesn't it? Gives something to go out.
It's a bit more of a challenge. You know, I mean, it's great doing flat out stuff or quick stuff or whatever, but Galway's pretty unique, and that's why we're going back again. Really, you know, we're in a perverse way. We quite enjoyed it.
Yeah, I know, and I suppose rallying is mainly a summer sport, so of course we'll get plenty of wet weekends over in Ireland, but maybe to the extent that Galway is, I think it stands there as being quite unique in that respect.
Yeah, let's hope it doesn't snow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what people fail to realise is we actually have to travel a long way, you know, to get to Ireland in the first place. You know, it's a 13-hour journey. So if there's a turn with the weather, you know, anybody that comes from the UK or Wales, you know, we have to pretty well go through the mill before we've even started rallying. You know, we've got to get the cars and the crews there first.
That's right. If the ferry doesn't run, we're sort of pretty.
Yeah, I think if the ferry doesn't run this year, the historic entry will have halved, because I think there's 10 or 11 guys coming over from England and Wales, which is brilliant.
New boys to the team, and it looks looking good. The entry's looking good. The entry's looking great.
Yep, really, really good. And I think before we go any further, maybe if you don't mind, giving a bit of background about yourselves, where you are from and what you do, and maybe even how you got started into rallying.
Well, yes.
There you go.
We, I started. I was interested in rallying when I was in the Scouts. I think that's where my interest. One of the Scout leaders had a Mark I Escort, and back in 1970 something.
Yeah.
It's about 1971, something like that. And I used to go to the RAC rally with mum and dad, have a look at Sutton Park. Eventually went into the forests and all that sort of thing. And then Roger Clark was my big hero, and went from there really. And then started my first job. I joined Wolverhampton and South Car Club, which was only a few miles down the road from where I lived. So I lived at the time in Passingham, which is Wolverhampton, the West Midlands.
Okay, yeah.
And we used to go every Wednesday night, meet all your mates and have a few beers, have a race home, all that sort of thing. 12 cars, road rallies, stage rallies, marshalling, all sorts. Great car club. And the Wolverhampton Car Club were famous for running the Castrol Rally of the 70s, the Audi Sport rallies, the Audi International rallies, the Audi National, the Bulldog rallies, the Rally North Wales, as it's called these days. So we all got involved with that. We're still members of the car club.
Proud of it as well, absolutely. It's a fantastic car club. But like other car clubs around the globe, things have changed, the environments have changed. But the healthy thing with Wolverhampton South Staffs is that the core membership is pretty well still there from all those years ago.
Yeah. Okay.
There's some great guys coming through who are trying to bring some young members into the fold, which is important.
That's right. And one of the my son is a member of the car club, and he does a bit of road rallying, and a lot of our friends, sons, daughters, all rallying. It's great. Great to keep it going.
Brilliant. And how about you, Alan?
Pretty well mirrors Duncan's sort of path into rally, really, except the early parts. My first love was Speedway. So I was into bikes, and people like Ivan Mage and Ollie Olsen and Peter Collins, they were my heroes originally. But then very quickly, I got into stage rally in particular, watching really with the likes of the Ford Works team. There was no better sight than a Ford Escort being hard, with all the regular guys. My hero from that era would be Ali Batman, and still is to this day. Not necessarily just because he's a quick rally driver, but I just like him as a human being as well. I think
definitely
a lot of people out there, and in later life, I've been fortunate to have spent quite a bit of time with him, and he's driven one of my cars a few times. So that really is a highlight for me. But like Duncan, like the sort of UK path really is road rallies. That's where we all started. You cut your teeth on that. Navigators do, drivers do, and then hopefully when you get the funds that allow it, you go into stage rally and you go from there. But Duncan was very much into forest rally originally as a competitor. Me, through my interest with the likes of watching Plum with his show and Mick Bracken on the Limit, I was always drawn towards going to Ireland. I just love, and it was a continuation really of the road rally thing.
They made the whole.
They attracted
the whole Irish thing so much exciting. More exciting.
We so much look forward to their programs on the TV. You'd never.
We still watch them in here.
Yeah,
There's a big screen behind the camera. We often watch some of Plum's and McBracken's footage on the screen. You
can't really quantify the influence that Plum and McBracken's footage and their programmes had on people in the UK and Wales to bring people over.
There's also a few members of Wolverhampton Car Club that went to Ireland and did West Cork, Cork 20, and several other in the early 80s. Sam Leeson, Phil Matthews, Mark Snelson. They all went to Ireland, and we were in awe of them at the time. Wouldn't it be fantastic to go and do those events?
Yeah.
We have.
Yeah, you have.
We've done more events over in Ireland than they ever did. Which is fantastic, and we're so lucky.
I haven't rallied in the UK since 2011.
Really?
That's the last,
I'm 2013.
To save up and save up pennies and go and do an Irish rally.
Yeah.
I did 10 years of BTRDA in the forest from 98 to 2008, something like that, and then retired from that. I thought I'll hang my boots up, but Irish rallying is one last thing to do.
Jabbing you in the ribs, going, "Come on, build an escort." Literally, and I went around to Duncan's father's and did some work on a car that he bought, and you got the Sheldon, and you still own that car to this day, quick car, and I had little Wayne introducing Duncan, forcing him to come to Ireland.
That's right.
Yeah. But now we go as a crew. We go as a team.
I think if we both didn't go, if one of us didn't go, we'd probably slow down a bit, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I
like someone to take the piss out of.
Yeah.
Well, banter.
Yeah, but that's the thing with us. It's not just the rally. When we do the rallies, we want to do well. Doesn't everybody? But at the end of the day, we still share a camaraderie. We still have a laugh. We still take the mickey out of each other, and we go out and we have a nice meal, and it's just like the whole thing. That's the. It's not just the rally. The rally is part of what we do, and we've met some fantastic people in Ireland over the years.
Absolutely,
marvelous, proper rally people. We were
organisers. Marshall. Fellow competitors. Fantastic. So we just love coming. Yeah, we really, really do.
Yeah, I think.
Long may it go on.
The thing with Irish rally is still pretty well like UK rally used to be. Probably to the is like a prize giving. I mean, it's a traditional thing in Ireland to have a prize giving at the end of the rally. It just doesn't happen in the UK anymore, and so that's a big part of what's missing in the UK.
Yeah, and
you make friends and it's social.
Yeah.
A bit of laugh.
And I think it goes both ways. Obviously, you guys have a long journey home as well, and the fact is, you want to stay for the prize giving or come for the ceremony or whatever. It shows that it is a weekend trip. It's all part of it.
We always stay the night of the rally. We always stay there and go home the next morning. Always, because it's so far to go. You might as well stay the extra night.
Yeah.
Have a couple of shandies with your mates, and
we like to support the rally organisers and the sponsors. At the end of the day, it's part of the package of doing the event. If everybody decided to just go home, it'd be a bit of a damp squid, wouldn't it?
And I think as you said, it's about meeting people too and building relationships. It's probably quite rare in life where you're in one place where everybody shares the same common interest, and
absolutely,
I suppose that's what makes it's so good and so easy to make friends and have a good bit of crack as well when you're there.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
So I guess I'm gonna test your memories again. Can you remember your first event in Ireland?
Okay.
Oh, Alan was there before me, but
yeah.
First time I ever went over was 86, Skibbereen. It was around Motoring News Championship, and I went over servicing for Sammy Leeson, and I've still got the local newspaper upstairs in the loft.
Really?
Yeah, I came across it over Christmas. Yeah, and you know, that was just part of the schooling. But the first event I think I actually went and did was, I don't know, might have been the Mark II train. Mick Bracken was on to me.
2009.
Carlo?
No, 2006, I think.
No.
And I took another member of our car club, Gemma Price, was doing a full season of WRC at the time.
Okay.
And whilst that might seem all nice and exciting and glossy, she'd done a season and a half of European Rally Championship. She was into a season of WRC. She would go to all these fantastic countries and see nothing. And she was sort of losing her way with the enjoyment of doing it. And I asked her, I said, would you like to come and sit with me in Carlo? And she was absolutely blown away with the fear and the friendliness of the people and just the way the whole thing ran.
It's a unique atmosphere, the whole thing. Yeah. It's unique. You know, I mean, we've got nothing like Irish rallying in the UK, in my opinion.
No.
Yeah.
There's some great roads, great rallies, but the atmosphere and the people, you know, it's just unique. Totally unique.
Yeah.
And we're so lucky to still have it.
Mm.
And we're lucky enough to have organisers that put these events on.
And put the hard work into putting them on, definitely.
Yeah. And the marshals,
that's becoming more difficult, you know.
Yeah. I think too that the places that the rallies are based in Ireland, like I always think of Clonakilty. If there wasn't a rally there, I might never have went there in my life, and yet it's one of the nicest places you could ever visit, and the atmosphere and everything, and obviously Killarney, of the scenery and the town itself is brilliant.
Well, it is, yeah.
As you get down to the peninsula, Killarney and the Killarney Valley of the Lakes, you get down to Cod's Head and Ardbroom.
Yeah.
The scene is stunning, isn't it?
Yeah.
The scene out of this world. But to drive those stages,
fantastic.
They're just an absolute gem. They're absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
They're just best stages ever.
Yeah.
That loop of Cod's Head, Ardbroom, and Kilmacalone is just.
The Guinness isn't bad either.
Yeah.
Hasn't far.
I don't think we've managed to recce a full stage of Kilmacalone without stopping. Yeah.
I think Tractor and I did Kilmacalone in 2019. And we stopped for a pint during wrecking outside the pub. And I think it was Sam Moffett came past and he looked at me and of course, what the hell are you doing? Which I think another point.
Oh dear, I know. I think too. Whenever I think those stages, you sort of think back to the original Circuit of Ireland, and really like it's so obvious those guys just drove around Ireland and literally picked the best roads or the most challenging stages that they could ever do, and thankfully they're still hanging around today.
Wouldn't it be fantastic to do those? It will never happen, does it?
Yeah.
The thing is, those particular stages haven't really changed. You know, they're still country lanes at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You know, Moles Gap's changed massively. It's nothing like it used to be. But those stages out there are still just like the guys, you know, the heroes of yesteryear, you know, drove. And so it really is a privilege to take to those roads and have a go.
Yeah. Long may it continue too.
Absolutely, yeah. So,
yeah, it's never lost on us actually, particularly Rally of the Lakes, that it's a bank holiday weekend in Ireland, and they still managed to shut Moles Gap.
Yeah.
I mean, we could never imagine approaching one of our councils to do that. But fair play. You know, that is part of the, you know, the makeup of Ireland, the way it works, and we like that. You know, that's
Yeah,
it's great.
absolutely.
Exactly. Duncan, I don't think we got to you about your first rally in Ireland. Can you remember that? Can you remember?
To be honest, I think 2014.
Yeah.
Killarney Historics. Yes, Miles Gap, first stage. Alan had been doing Killarney Historics for a couple of years, and with spectators and a few mates the year before. And I hadn't got a car to use, and we'd been building a car for a few years. And then we finally came over in 2014, December 2014. And we're absolutely stunned how wonderful it was. Fantastic. And I think we've done every Killarney Historic since. Of course, you then come back and you do it again, and you talk to other competitors, and you say, what other events are there? What's the best event? And everyone kept saying West Cork. So you go and do West Cork.
And then you're looking for another challenge.
And then, so the following year you do Killarney and West Cork again. And then you add another event. We added Cork 20.
Yeah. And
then it becomes a habit, because you think, well, I can't miss that event next year.
Yeah.
I can't be losing out. So each year you keep adding events, and then you have to do them the following year. So we've sort of started out like that, and I think 2019 we did every event bar one.
Yeah.
And we won the championship.
Yeah.
Get that in there.
Yeah. With Tractor.
Yeah.
Of course, Tractor never registered for the championship. It is, but I do. But no, it's 2014 was the first one, and I wish I'd been doing all of them every year, all the events, because each event's got its own character, and they're all just fantastic events. Great organisers.
Proactive organisers as well.
Yeah.
Everybody's got the attitude where, that they want you to do the event, they want you to finish the event. If you have a problem, they want to help, so.
Absolutely. Yeah. We found some great places to stay, great places to visit.
Well, even just spots along the way, we finished wrecking a stage last year on West Cork, and I said to Owen, what time are we supposed to be finished? And he said, look, 5 o'clock. What time is it now? 5 o'clock. So we'll go all the way down here without going out an ice cream and walk down the beach. So literally, there looks like a couple of tourists. off we went, and it was just such a beautiful evening, and that even that's part of the rally memory,
Yeah, exactly. Brilliant. So, last year then, how did you guys get on? Did you enjoy getting back stuck into the championship and coming over after a few strange years for us all?
Well, it was a few strange years, and we missed it terribly. I mean, the fact I was champion for 3 years.
Yeah.
Without turning the wheel.
Historic champion in 2019, 20, 21. And then Neil's just picked me on the...
not just picked me.
Actually,
he
annihilated. Last year. Fair play to Neil.
Yeah, fair play to you.
Is it a glass of Neil?
Yeah.
Or an Anthony?
Yeah. Quick boys.
But yes, there's a few more guys here now, and it's looking a bit more competitive than it perhaps once was. But yes, it was great to have it back. 2022, I think I did every event again last year, again, because all the events are fantastic.
Yeah.
You don't want to miss it. You don't want to be at home looking on the internet, watching the coverage, thinking,
I was there.
I was there.
Yeah.
So, it's they're all great. You didn't do all the events, did you?
No, well, we blew the engine up in Killarney, and that was the end of my year. So I think we've done Galway, West Cork, and one stage on Killarney, and that was the end of it. Me personally, wow, COVID didn't me no good at all. I was really struggling. You know, guys who I sort of pretty well set equal or better times than them were suddenly 20 seconds a stage in front, and I really struggled to get back into it until the Historics, December just gone. You know, I sort of got the mojo back, and so yeah, I'm looking forward to see how we go this year. But yeah,
of course, West Cork last year we had an engine fire.
Oh, yeah,
that's right.
On our car, with Galway went really well, and then we had Declan Casey sitting in on Galway, and then Guy came in on West Cork, and we were going reasonably well. We were really enjoying it, and I think we were third at the time, and then Busher, we had an engine fire on the last day, which fortunately got put out. Fair bit of damage. Another competitor stopped and got an extinguisher out and put it out for us.
Yeah.
But still quite a bit of damage, and we had to have an engine rebuild and a lot of paintwork and the damage repaired. Came out on the Killarney.
Bizarrely, Rally of the Lakes is the first time that when we both entered a rally that we both retired.
Yeah.
So on every other event we've had, at least one of us has finished. So yeah, quite.
So we Killarney had a problem with the fuel.
Yeah.
And then so we didn't finish.
Yeah.
And then we did the next one, which would have been I think now. Would have been
your season stuttered to start with, and then got going halfway through.
We had several retirements in the year, and the car not running properly, and so we really got stuffed really last year. You know, several retirements, several sort of dodgy, car problems. So,
which is unusual because Duncan's car is prepared meticulously.
Yeah.
You know, John Ross does a fantastic job on the car.
Yeah. John Ross, JRS, Motorsport, he does a fantastic job. In fact, I tell you what, if it wasn't for John, I don't think we'd be rallying in Ireland. It's a stern.
Yeah.
He brings the rig over, backwards and forwards by himself. Yeah. Every event, over on the ferry, several hours, 3 hours to the ferry, 3 hour ferry crossing, 3-4 hours driving to the start of an event,
scrutineering, setting up,
and then all back again.
Yeah.
And fair play to him.
Yeah.
It was birthday yesterday.
Yeah.
Very good. Happy birthday.
So it looks it.
Yeah.
No, fair play to John. If it wasn't for John, I don't think we'd be coming over as often as we could.
And it's part of the fun as well. John actually he's Irish. He was born in Roscommon, but he loves coming over as well. And he's another rally man through and through.
Yeah.
And like Duncan said, I don't think we'd be able to do it unless we got the support that John gives us.
One of the first events we did, I'll tell you a funny story, Adam. One of the first events we did was in Isle of Man. And in 2014, 15? 13.
Yeah.
We rocked up. It was part of the Irish Championship as well.
Yeah.
And we rocked up. I got John sort of primed up he took our rig across. I flew over on the airplane with my son George navigating. And John took the rig over, trailer and car. We were in the service area, we got all the car out, all the axle stands, giving a check over before the rally. Alan rocks up next door with a Subaru Estate trailer,
17 wheels and tyres
in the back of his Subaru Estate on the roof rack. He'd driven over himself, knackered. it was raining, and he started getting all his cardboard boxes and all his spares out, all over the floor,
like a car boot,
all over the grass. And I said, "Is a car boot sale or what?"
And that did me some good actually, because I changed my outlook from there.
Yeah.
He looked at me and George with the deck chairs,
Yeah.
feet up, cup of tea, and said, "That's the way to go."
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Uh,
I think it's 20.
Was it?
14, 15. Yeah, 14, 15 and 16, I think. Oh, man. Yeah.
I think too, like it's easy to, I guess, not forget, but overlook the fact that, you know, you walk into a service park and for every driver and co-driver, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 people in the service area, and they're as much as part of the team as anybody else. And to get that car to the finish line and to give you guys a full weekend of rallying, that's as big an achievement as anything.
They've got a rally in their own right.
Yeah.
It's another event, isn't it?
Yeah.
For them. And they enjoy it. Hopefully.
Exactly. Yeah. And they're as proud of it all as you guys are in the car. And again, it's just another element that those ones will go back home and be chatting about what they were at over the weekend. And I guess that it's just the wider part of the rallying community, which I guess we all love, and we can all see why people do it.
It's the same as co-drivers, you know, they probably put more effort in to the rally than the actual driver and anybody, you know, and in many respects, it annoys the hell out of me that they don't get the same sort of level of appreciation and recognition.
Yep.
Guys like Guy Weaver and Tractor and Owen, who sat with me, and Ian McCarthy and James O'Brien and Grace O'Brien, you know, they put a phenomenal amount in and they leave no stone unturned. You know, they try and make the driver feel as relaxed as possible, and everything's all in hand, even if it isn't. But yeah, you know, fair play to them, and that they very are much part of a team. Could win or lose, you know.
Yeah, and I think too I guess the hidden pressure that a co-driver has too. I think if you're driving, you're doing something that's very natural and you're following the flow of everything, whereas a co-driver really does have a serious job at hand to make sure everything's going right.
It does make you wonder sometimes. I mean, I've sat with Duncan a couple of times. And, we actually won around there, didn't we, together?
We did, yeah.
We did. I wouldn't do it again.
I was driving, so
yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, before I let you guys go, I guess how are you feeling ahead of Galway, or are you looking forward to another season of rallying in Ireland? And after thinking about the past years and how you have built up the rallies, is the eagerness and the passion for rallying still there?
Of course, yes, of course. I mean, I'm only 25, so you know I've got a lot of years to go. Alan's 66 now, so yes, I'm always looking forward to coming to Ireland and doing lots of rallying. There's no better place to do it. Simple as that. Fantastic. And I want to do all the events this year. If I can, whether we will, who knows? But
yeah,
as many as I can, and for many years, it's just a joy to come.
It's just exciting to get going again. You know,
yeah.
New year, new turn of the page of the book, and
a few more people about as well. A few more people.
Great, yeah. The interest in the historics is
going
well. I mean, there's a few things that sort of need addressing and need looking at, but we've got a great guy on board in Kevin O'Reilly. He's been a really an avid supporter of what the historics is all about, and he's a very knowledgeable guy, a rally organiser. So he's very much fighting the corner of the historics to just advise really rally organisers that hang on, you've got you got another 25 entries here on your rally.
Yeah.
You can't.
Well, as you know, we've got this WhatsApp group of historics, which, funnily enough, it started 12 months ago.
Yeah.
Declan started it with myself, Alan, and a few others, our co-drivers and service crew. Just 6 of us. That's how it started. And just keep us all informed of what the movements were on Galway last year. And then after Galway, Declan added the odd person, and somebody else. And then we all said,
how many we got now?
He's added in now.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, we've got 70 people on the WhatsApp group. Yeah. Organisers, marshals, co-drivers, drivers, service crew. Fantastic. And that's helped tremendously to get the historic thing
moving.
You know, the interest, isn't it? The interest.
You know,
that's why it's growing.
It's no, although we've got people like Fergus O'Mara and we've got Wyndham Evans and his sons coming on board with the historics now.
We all talk to each other.
Yeah, we all talk to each other. We all help each other.
Through WhatsApp. Yeah. We share everything.
Yeah.
It's great. Super.
And you all have the same common interest, the same common goal, and you all want the same thing for historic rallying. So it's brilliant.
Even with organisers, we can communicate with organisers and say, this is this, we prefer that. How about doing this? And it works. It's working so far anyway.
I think over the next sort of 18, 24 months, you're going to see more well-known top-end Irish competitors coming over to historics. I mean, the likes of Alan Ring, quick boy, nice fella. He's been with us now a couple of years. Donna comes over and does the historics, but I think you're going to see a bit of a shift. I think you're going to find guys who are going to be, looking at the historics thinking, that's good fun. That's just what I remember when I was younger.
Yeah.
Not everybody wants to be in the top end R5.
There's an end to the cost.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't keep extending the development of the cars.
Yeah.
There's an end to the means, and you can't keep putting the new gearbox in because there isn't one.
Yeah.
You can't put.
You've got to use what it is, and that's
what we use in the day, and that's what we've got to use. And it's good enough to have fun, and you can drive very competitively and very fast and enjoy it. That's what it's all about.
Yeah. Fantastic. Well, I don't think anybody would argue with having more historic rally cars on any event, especially not the events that we have in the Irish Tarmac Championship, and obviously the noises and everything that goes with it, and even the fact of hearing a manual gearbox and all of that too. It takes you back to what you remember rallying years ago, and I think that's where everybody's coming from. But yeah, I'll let you two guys go, and you can enjoy the rest of your evening. Thanks very much for giving us
a big shout out to somebody.
Yeah.
Car 1-6 on Monte Carlo Historic, James O'Brien, another fine rally man through and through. Best of luck to him in his drive. He's part of the International Rally Drivers Club team. So fair play. I hope he has a good run. James has been a massive influence to the likes of Duncan and I coming over. And James is a co-driver. Yeah, been a good friend to us as well. Been very helpful. And so fair play to him.
Brilliant. And that's the perfect note to wrap up. Thanks again, guys, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in Galway, and I hope everything goes well and safe travels.
We'll see you in a week's time.
Will do.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
See ya.
Thanks. All the best. All the best.